welcome to Sacred Insights. I'm Andrea Bacon. Thank you for joining me today or whenever you are listening. I appreciate it. So, on today's show, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the energy for the week, what we might want to know to be prepared ahead of time, and get some angel and spirit led messages. So, we are going to have a full moon in Virgo at the end of this week. And Saturn is near the full moon that's taking place, which can bring slightly heavier energy sometimes. So things will start to feel lighter soon after the full moon, if you're feeling that. But it can bring some lessons that can come up for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that will happen, but it's just something to be aware of. So this is a time that's coming up to shed past dramas. So sometimes the full moon can bring up more volatile emotions to the surface. You know, conflicts from the past might present themselves to you, or you might just be thinking about them more lately. So being mindful of your thoughts, which will allow you to release them and to not hold on to them. And in doing this, you won't be as likely to take it out, whether it be on yourself, whether it be projecting it onto other people. So, you know, taking it out on yourself could look like emotional eating or excessive numbing of emotions or negative self-talk. And all this can lead to some unhealthy patterns if we engage for too long in this. Sometimes these are, you know, patterns that we can get into without really realize it when they're happening. But just being mindful of it and what is coming up for this, it's always a good idea to do that. So doing this can look like writing things down when they're coming up for you. And this is going to help release it. It's going to help it become more aware. And this is really simple shadow work, which is really important. Being on the spiritual path, this is the kind of stuff that shadow work that we do, and it actually really helps us be able to step into our spiritual gifts as we release, heal, and grow and evolve. And just becoming, you know, mindful instead of denying our emotions, instead of suppressing them. And so you can take a few minutes on a daily basis to kind of de-stress. And that's always a good idea. But, you know, meditate to kind of just take longer than normal, deeper breaths. Doing a body scan, maybe feeling where your body feels a little bit more tense, a little bit more tight, you know, releasing with an exhale and sitting in silence and just kind of noticing what's on your heart and not judging it, not making it mean anything, but just noticing it, just allowing it to be and holding space for yourself and kind of supporting yourself and being there for yourself. This can be done on a daily basis, and it doesn't have to take hardly any time at all, or you can take longer if you want to, but it's just a great way to distress. And, you know, stress comes up pretty regularly, you know, at times for people. And so if you just take a minute a day, a couple times a day to tap into this peaceful energy, because that peaceful energy is a part of you, it's always there within you. Okay, things can just kind of overshadow it in a way. So it's about going back within and reconnecting to that. And yeah, just doing it a couple times a day if you want. Releasing, this is a great way to release that I was talking about. And, you know, kind of that heavier energy, things that might trigger you, it can help you from engaging in conflicts or projecting onto other people and that type of thing. So some of the cards I pulled for this to get some spirit messages. Now, I love it when spirit does this because these came out after I tapped into the energy for that first part. And we have focus, take a breath, and then communicate. Okay. And so you know, you can't really make this stuff up with how this kind of came out, but So here you are focusing, okay, being mindful of how you feel, like we were just saying. That can be really quickly, it can just go by in a flash. So it's about picking up on it, especially if you find yourself becoming more and more agitated a little right afterwards, going back and seeing what you were just thinking about. But we want to catch that stuff quickly when we can. And then here you are with the take a breath card, and you're doing that meditation or just connecting to those peaceful stillness that is always within us. Kind of getting out of your own way and releasing some of that stuff you're carrying, releasing it out of your aura, out of your energy. And, you know, sure, it can come up again another time because sometimes stuff happens in layers, and that's fine, that's normal. However, it just really helps you to put you in this state of feeling lighter, feeling more balanced, more aware of your own stuff. And then from that beautiful, balanced energy, then we go in and have communication. And this helps prevent conflicts and it helps things be much more understood in their own alignment instead of miscommunication and that type of thing as well. Okay. Now, with the moon, we've got yin moon with this other card here. One second. Accepting help. This is another big important piece of the puzzle here because here you're in a state of being open and receptive and allowing others and the universe to give to you, to give to you what you need, maybe extra help, maybe some love, maybe some support, whatever it is that you need. And this is kind of releasing resistance. So now we're no longer in a state of resisting what is coming up. We're not resisting, what happened. We're releasing it instead of resisting it. And so anytime we're feeling burdens from the past coming up, which definitely can come up with the energies at play, which is why I'm bringing it up. That kind of stuff that came up before it was probably wasn't even your fault. And then, some of you, I was picking up energies where some of you may not have really been allowed to be yourself growing up, having that self expression. You may have felt stifled. So that could be like you weren't allowed to go out with your friends that you really wanted to, or, you may have had too much responsibility and that type of thing. And maybe you felt left out. But whatever it is, some of you may have gotten too much criticism growing up as well as not enough encouragement. So the energy in your environment could have felt heavy at times. And I think, people go through that at different times in their life, not everybody, but there could have been disrespect given to you. And then in some way, you kind of could have gotten into relationships later on down the road where you were kind of repeating those types of things. So, just kind of like your free spirit may have felt a little trapped where you wanted to be out in nature playing with the fairies. So the fairies were coming up too as well with this because you have that natural free spirit about you and that beautiful inner child does. And for some of you, you weren't really allowed to do that. And so that could be metaphorical as well as literal. But, if there's this energy of old fashioned things that were kind of placed on you where kids couldn't really be kids enough, then that can really affect you and what it is that you really feel that you're allowed to bring in your life when it comes to goals, when it comes to healing and manifesting and kind of living a life that is more joyful, more creative, and this limitless, unbound, pure potential that is available to all of us to tap into and bring in more happiness, more abundance, and, just kind of letting go of beliefs that really aren't serving you. So those antiquated belief patterns that you may have projected on you or that you just kind of like started believing because of the environment that you may have been in. But whatever it is, about your having the manifestations in your life that you're wanting to bring in, you are able to create something new and something different. And all of this stuff coming up at this time is a really great time to bring that stuff in. Okay, and then we have the light in the darkness, which the meaning of this card is ancestors, generational shift. So you're shifting from those generational patterns that may not be serving you anymore. And it's not to say that it didn't have a purpose at the time, because these kind of things really can build character, help you become, a hard worker and that type of thing. But at this point, if there's some shifts that you want to make happen in your life, it's a really great time for that. And just becoming aware of and noticing those patterns. And then we have once was innocent. So this is that beautiful inner child healing. Knowledge means change. So being aware is that knowledge that's going to affect the way that stuff had on you, the effect it had on you. And this is, empowering for yourself. You're able to take your power back and maybe do some cord cutting. I like to call in Archangel Michael for cord cutting. Cord cutting could be for anything, but it can be for beliefs that aren't serving you, to help kind of release them from your energy. So you can do that if you feel called to. This is just for, you can take what resonates from this and, be able to help yourself kind of feel a little bit more harmonious and balanced. Okay, so I hope that helps. And that is what I have for you today. If you want to check out what I have for readings and services, you can go to stan.store/mediumandrea. And you can always email me at andrea.bacon444@gmail.com. But yeah, just have a beautiful week and have a great full moon. And just remember to not let the emotions get the best of you. But have a wonderful day, evening, and week. Thank you for joining me.